I'm back for Dust2S's ongoing coverage of IEM Cologne 2023, and I'm here with NiKo coming off of a statement win against FaZe to earn a spot in the Lanxess Arena. So to ask you first, you guys had a relatively rocky performance at Blast Fall. What happened to get you guys back on track, especially the win over FaZe today?
Yeah, Blast was not the best by us, and we haven't really changed too much for this event. Obviously, this event we are just way more focused than we were at the Blast. On Blast, we used it more as a practice to see what's wrong and what we're going to be missing for the IEM Cologne, and we have noticed a couple of things. And now we are just way more focused for IEM Cologne. We are way more we have just bigger will to win as well, and I think it was very important we won versus Astralis yesterday to get off to a good start, and this win versus FaZe now really puts us in a good situation for the deep run here. So yeah, happy with the performance so far, and just gonna try to keep it up.
Speaking about that will to win you mentioned, how is the team's energy level right now? It seemed towards the end of the season that the team was almost running out of gas because of the incredibly busy schedule for Dallas. Does the team feel refreshed after the player break and sort of ready to get back to their winning ways?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough towards the end of the season, especially after the major. It's kind of hard to. I think it's not that hard, if you're actually winning or if you're making a deep runs constantly. But we had kind of disappointing last 3-4 events before the player break. So that was probably the biggest reason why our energy was just running out, and it was just very hard to kind of be hyped all the time. And it is like that sometimes in CS. We have way too many tournaments. But yeah, I mean, IEM Cologne, just like a major or Katowice, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. Every player wants to be on his maximum for these events, and that's what we are showing right now.
And so I think you mentioned there the fact that the team has struggled with having consistent results since winning Kato. What do you think contributes to that inconsistency? Is it because of the overly busy schedule or that you mentioned earlier? What kind of makes G2 have amazing peaks but also disappointing lows?
I'm honestly not sure. We were just not good enough, and maybe we haven't been progressing too much in practice, and maybe that's the reason we have struggled a lot on CD size. That was one of the biggest issues for consistency. You need to have good CD size if you want to be the best in the world. I think for this event our CD size has been improved massively, and we just have to keep working on it, and think we can go far.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure part of that growth of your CT sides comes down to HooXi and Swanee working in the offseason and working before this event. I wanted to ask you about something he mentioned at Blast Fall to Dust2DK. He mentioned that he was worried about potentially being replaced or potentially having his spot taken on the lineup heading out of the player break. Is there any reality to that, or did he not, or did he have any reason to be worried about being cut? Was that actually something that was discussed, or what's HooXi's status? Does he still have your full confidence?
I mean, it's safe to say that we did not have the best season apart from winning Katowice before this, so it was just down to G2 if they were gonna make a change or not, and they decided to not make any changes, that we stick together. And I think for this event, for example, it's really showing for us that we are more experienced team. We have more solutions to the game, and once we start losing, we always kind of have something in our pocket to come back. So yeah, I'm happy that we stayed, and yeah, it just came down to G2 deciding if they want to make a change or not.
And so you mentioned you're relatively happy with that. Does it mean sort of HooXi still has your full support as your leader on the team?
Yeah, of course, he has a full support like he had before, and he's going to have until the end of the season at least.
Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, HooXi's been sort of a victim of a very outstretched sort of criticism coming from all angles on the scene. One thing I kind of wanted to ask you about is he's been the subject of very harsh criticism from Kassad. Of course, you have a personal relationship with Kassad. He said after the major that HooXi had to leave as a result of not winning in Paris. Is that something do you think he's wrong in his analysis of the team's position with HooXi on it?
I think he's just way too harsh, and everyone obviously has very high expectations, but the other teams that are also failing, they are not harsh on them, right? I think obviously he's a bit more focused on our team because of me and Hunter, because we are friends, but I think people just because of the changes that we made, and people maybe not satisfied with, they expect us to win every tournament, and like just keep delivering all the time, which obviously we all want, and that's why we are making changes, or like that's why we made changes before. But it's very easy to judge if we don't win a tournament, you know. So I think it's very hard to like match those expectations from the how to call them, the analysts or just people who are like talking about the game all the time, and it's very easy to talk shit if we don't win events. So yeah, I mean, we definitely talked about internally in the team how to deal with it, and it is what it is. It's just out there. People are not happy with the results, but we are trying to do better results, and hopefully this event will be good for us.
Do you think so? You know, earlier in your career, especially when you were on Mouse Sports in the very start of your time on FaZe, sometimes you would be criticized for various issues in your own play, whether that was emotional reactions or stuff. Has your sort of struggle to become to deal with community backlash, does that give you a unique position to be able to help HooXi deal with the community's reactions sometimes?
Well, obviously, I try to share my experience onto him as much as I can, and it's just always hard. It's easy to deal with some of the comments and some of the pressure, but if we are constantly underperforming, it becomes hard, and it can affect the players, and we deserve it. We did not have the best end of the season after the Katowice, so we totally deserve it. But we are looking to bounce back, and I'm trying to help him, and I think he also has a relief now that he's actually staying on the team, so now he can focus on the longer term until the end of the season at least. So I think he has just more relief now, and he can actually focus more on himself and the team.
And so, final question for you: now that you've made the arena, it's most teams are new. You're one of the few teams that didn't make changes in it. Does that give you guys a unique position and a unique confidence that you could take Cologne 2023?
I think it puts us definitely in a very good position, especially if we end up maybe winning versus Vitality or having a good game. I think we are in definitely a good spot. It's pretty funny that we actually also started like our run in Katowice by beating FaZe in the same stage. So I think we are just building confidence, and we can definitely make a deep run here at Cologne. Vitality and Heroic, obviously very stable teams, especially Heroic, very hard to beat them, but I think once we actually get to the stage, it's just a different game, so we are ready to take them on.
All right, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you guys in action tomorrow. Thank you.